A Banggood product review coming your way next. Welcome back to the shop. Happy New Year. Hope everyone's having a great 2018. So this video is a Banggood product review. I've been seeing a lot of you guys using their products, doing reviews. Some of them actually are pretty good. So I thought I would give them a test drive. Went on their website, banggood.com. and started poking around to see if there's anything that I couldn't live without. So I have a 10 by 36 clausing lathe that has a Morse taper 4 spindle, and I found a ER32 Collet set with a Morse taper 4 collet chuck, and all in a kit with the collets and the chuck. So I thought I would give it a try. So I ordered it up, and here it is. Came straight from China, man. So let me bring you in. We'll open it up and we'll check it out. And then we'll take it over to the clausing and give it a little test run. It does look pretty well packed. Okay, it looks like I tore off the label, but it's basically says Morse taper 4 ER32 11 pieces. I will post the links for Banggood and this actual product in the comments. So here we go. Let me make sure we're in frame here. Looks like a couple of things got away here. Okay, so it looks like the kit, let me zoom in on it. Okay, the kit has 11 collets. It looks like it has a spanner wrench for the chuck. Everything's well oiled. You know, my first impressions are good. A chuck like this from MSC is in about $250 range for just that. This whole set was under $100. Before we head over to the clausing, I wanted to give you a little closer look. The arbor chuck is supposed to have a 1/2 inch 13 drawbar thread, and in fact it's 5/8 11. So that's one. It's listed on their site as 1/2 inch 13, and I'm showing you it's 5/8 11. That's one thing I found so far. And then I just want to try to give you a closer look. The threads are pretty decent on the chuck itself. Let me see what you're seeing here. Try to get it to where you can see them. It's pretty decent. I'm just trying to give you a closer look here of the product. And there's the taper in here for the collets. And then there's the drawbar threads. and the Morse taper shank. We'll see how that fits up in the closing here in a minute. Yeah, let's take a look at a collet. ER32. It came with 11 collets. You can see in the case it has some for spares. They're finished pretty well, all coated in oil. I got to mention, I do not have a drawbar for the closing, so we're just going to have to tap this in for now. I really don't want to run it, like make a cut, for fear of this thing coming out, but we can at least check run out. Put a carbide end mill in one of the collets and check for run out. So now we can head over to the closing. Okay guys, I've never checked the spindle on this closing. It came from a local high school from some time ago, and when I received the lathe, it had been crashed. The gearbox was all stripped out. So, you know, I rebuilt it, but never checked the spindle. It's been a really good lathe since. So I got the Noga arm out with the Mito-Toyo half thou indicator. Let's get this sucker zeroed out, and I'll bring you in and let's see what kind of run out we got in this spindle. You're seeing it for the first time, just like I am. So let me cut and bring you in. Okay, you can see the indicator is loaded up. Zero her out. I know I'm side loading the indicator, but I do have some nice slick spindle oil on here. For this test, it's good enough. So here we go. We're climbing. Get that high, that low point right there and zero. It looks like we're a half thou out. Yeah, we're running a little over half a thou out on this spindle. It doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. If you've seen the condition I got this lathe in a few years back, you'd understand. This is actually, I'm okay with this. The spindle probably could be reground, but okay, so we know now the spindle's a half a thou out, maybe a little stronger than a half thou, but we're about there. So let's get our chuck in here and see what kind of run out that guy has. Like I mentioned before, I do not have a 5/8 drawbar. That's something I'm going to have to make, so we're not going to run this. We're just going to check for run out and fit up. We'll give it a little tap. Oh, you know what? There's oil on that. It came nicely oiled. So you saw the little hydraulic effect when it's seating it in the spindle. Okay. Give it a little tap. It's seated in there pretty good. All right, let's check the inside of this guy. Maybe move it around a little bit and see if we can get it to be close to zero run out. Okay, we're zeroed out. We're dropping. way down. Let's zero that. Okay, we're a little over 3 thou run out. So it's 2.5 because remember, I'm introducing a half thou run out here. So let's knock this arbor out, spin it around 180 degrees, and see if we get the same results. I'm using a piece of Delrin so I don't bugger up the back of this chuck. Okay, we had it here, so let's go 180. Yeah, seat it real well. One more love tap, just for good measure. All right, let's load her up, and I'll bring you in again. Ooh, I think that's worse. Yeah, that's worse. We were better off before. Okay, so let's get back to square one here. It looks like we're going to be about 3 thou run out at best. Okay guys, after playing with it a little bit, I got it to run out under 2.5 thou. So if you introduce my half thou spindle error, that's under 2 thou run out. Not perfect. I always was under the assumption that collets were for accuracy, especially when machining small parts. But you know, this is going to have to be acceptable for a Chinese part. I would like it to have 0 run out, but unfortunately my spindle doesn't have 0 run out. So we're just a little, we're under 2 thou run out. So let's put a collet in here with an end mill and see how that runs out. Okay, let's try a 1/2 inch. This is a Niagara 3-flute aluminum 1/2 inch carbide end mill. So let's give it a test drive. We're going to snap our ER32 collet into the nut. There we go. You can see it's locked in. We're going to start it. We got it started here. It's just about touching. So let me bring you in. All right, this end mill's sharp as hell. So okay, I want to leave a little shoulder out so I can run the indicator on it. So let's go with there. I'm going to put this in back gear. I'm going to take the spanner wrench that was included in the kit, tighten her up. There we go. Snugged up pretty good. Let's see if I can set this up so you can see it. Okay, we got it zeroed. Let's see what we got here. Here's one. Interesting enough, it's only a thou and a half out. So it's 1 thou out because I have to include my half thou. Oh, wait a minute. No. Let me get a better zero here. Get a 0. Okay, we're 0. There's a half. There's 1. There's a half. Just above. So yeah, it's a thou. It's running out of thou. All right, so let me pop out the 1/2 inch and put the 1/4 inch in and see how that one runs out. Okay, I just popped in the 1/4 inch ER32 Collet. I got a 4-flute carbide for steel end mill here. Leave some shoulder out there. Got it in back gear. Tighten her up. Nice and snug. All right. Got it zeroed out there. Okay, that one's way out there. Two thou, 3, 3.5, 4. 4 thou run out on this one. One thing I did notice, I had to tighten this even more on the 1/4 inch ER32 Collet than I had to on the 1/2 inch. In other words, the 1/2 inch ER32 Collet was a little more snug on the end mill than the 1/4 inch was. So I'm sure I could spin this around, get better numbers, but I'm just showing you here, guys. If you're wanting extreme accuracy, this is not the way to go, but it is a ER32 Collet set for your lathe with a chuck. So let me break this all down and we'll talk a little bit more about it in closing. So in closing, some of my final thoughts on this ER32 Collet set. If you're a hobby guy, more than sufficient accuracy for hobby stuff. If you're looking for extreme accuracy, it's not here. Quality, you know, I give it a pretty good grade on quality. It's well machined. No, the accuracy isn't 100%, but then again, I'm introducing the air of my spindle to this product. So, all in all, I'd say for under $100, you can't beat it. Like I said, just the arbor alone from MSC is over 250 bucks. And the cost on the collets, I know it's quadruple compared to a set of these ER32 Collets. So for me, as a hobby machinist, this will be a very good set to my collection. It's really nice for holding small parts. If I do things without removing it from the machine, it'll be concentric, my parts. So I found it interesting. Banggood's slogan is best bang for your buck. Is it, guys? I'll let you be the judge. Until next time, see ya.